Yeah, that's the thing I appreciate about RE4 is you always have the knife on you at the very least. Oh,
Oh
now
my
you're dead.
god.
Rip. He didn't have time to
Gross.
heal. Oh, no, you're still alive? Alright, instant heal. Do we make it? Nice, let's
We fucking
fucking
did it.
go.
Holy shit, dude. Holy fuck.
Oh, Fedora, let's go, baby. Now we're really tapped in. I would like there to be less of a focus on graphics and how large worlds are, and I would like to focus on, like, distinct stylization between games. Everything's kind of going the route of, like, hyper-realism, where I think stylized, like, a defined art style stands out more from a game for me. Like, look no further than Mouse PI.
Oh, yeah.
I'm really looking forward to getting to that game, and it's so distinct, and like, you know, Cuphead stood out to me, and you know, Ultimate Spider-Man stood out to me, like games that have these distinct, like,
Art styles to it.
they aged like fine wine.
I just recently beat that 13 game. And that's the thing I really liked about that game too, is that its
Hell
art
yeah.
style is very comic book like, and its story was really unique, and I really enjoyed that game. That's kind of the reason why one of the things I really enjoy about Borderlands too, is that it's so wacky and out there, and I'm actually pretty excited for Borderlands 4. I think that looks pretty good.
Me personally, I give zero shits, and that's just because I am not invested in the Borderlands games. I respect what they do, and I appreciate them for what they are. I just really haven't sunk a healthy amount of time into those games. But for anyone that is excited, I'm excited for you. Oh, fuck.
God damn, bro.
We've escaped one problem, only
Just
to
to
find
run into
another.
like 10 more.
There's no shortage of company here. You know, these residents are feeling a little evil.
Yeah, dude.
Fuck them up. Nice. Chris, where's the fucking lighter when you need it?
Knife, thank fuck.
Oh, yeah.
Really, guys?
Well,
Ah, you got me from... Fuck. I was gonna say, I had that knife for a reason. Holy shit, dude.
you know, it's actually a little common fact that this world and the Last of Us world are the same universe.
Are they?
No. Oh, where are we now? Are we back in the
Yes.
fucking GCPD?
Yes, but we have a key now.
Not, oh, true.
So,
Hell yeah,
we
baby.
can go check out some of these.
We have the diamond key,
Oh shit,
right?
there's some bullets in here.
Hell yeah. What are you saying? I can grab bullets?
No, Neo. Dude, The Matrix is my favorite movie of all time.
Oh,
I know I've said that
easily.
multiple times, but it really is.
Easily. I... Yeah, no, there's not much of a further thought. Like, I had a tradition where, like, I watched that movie at least once a year, but there was one summer where I watched that movie every night.
Every night?
Oh yeah, that is my favorite fucking movie of all time. Like, what you can gain from that movie is like invaluable. There's so many deep, rich themes within it, like the undertones of Christianity, like the ideals of like being confounded by reality, and then you're like the questioning of your own perception on reality. Like, it's such a deep film where it's studied that it's still culturally relevant to this day.
I agree.
That is the quintessential film for me. Like, dude, if you are looking to seduce me, you play that fucking movie, and it's over.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, I'm with you. I think philosophically that film is just so deep. Bringing it full circle, there is an element of horror in that film that I think is fascinating too. But it's not the horror that you would think, like jump scare or anything. It's more of like an existential horror in that film. Like with just knowing that like you're part of like this, you know, overall battery or whatever, and like humans are enslaved, and like I think there's like that, like there's so much going on in that film that it's hard to narrow it in any certain genre, you know?
Oh, I mean, like, after watching that film, it's hard not to gain like a certain autonomy that, like, you know, maybe you already had it before, but it's just like a reminder.
Yeah.
And then, you know, for some people, it's like a newfound autonomy where it's just like, dude, I'm like an ant in a fucking Like, you don't realize how insignificant you are. And like I have a lot of respect for people that like profoundly want to leave some kind of mark, because I feel the exact same way. I'm always of the mind where it's like, did I do enough?
Sure.
You know, where like when I was out of a job for 1 to 2 months, even though I was still like working hard at like finding a new job and then like pushing out content, like streaming a whole bunch more, like at the end of the day, I would ask myself, is like, did I really push as hard as I could have? Did I really give it my all?
Yeah.
And to an extent, like, there are people chasing their passions that like they look at it and it's just like, you know, like, fuck, how come I like haven't made it? And I kind of beg that question to people. It's like, okay, did you push as hard as you could have? And on your initial impression, like, someone might say, yeah, like, you know, I really put in some hard work today. It's like, okay, there are people that are putting in that same hard work, but even more consistently. Like, there are people that are willing to sacrifice sleep for the sake of production. There are people truly about this mentality of, like, there is no other option but to make it. And that does fall short on a lot of people. And sometimes I have to, like, remind myself of that as well.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, okay, like, am I really trying my hardest to make something break here? You know, I beg that question to, you know, maybe you if you find it valuable, but also
Sure.
like the viewer at home. It's just like, hey, if you're looking to make something, are you putting your forthright effort? Even for myself, like, not always. And there is a limit to this. Like, don't fucking burn yourself out.
Yeah.
But make sure you're trying. Make sure you're really trying, because there are people whose efforts that go like unseen, man. There's like, if you want to make it in the art industry, let's say, there are people that are, dude, grinding art around the clock. Like, and it takes a level of obsession.
Sure.
Man, we are going down a rabbit hole.
Sure.
Sorry,
No,
if this
continue.
is
Please.
too far of a departure.
I'm listening. I'm just also trying to fucking.
You're good.
keep
You're doing
shit going.
amazing. As far
I
as
am
I'm
listening.
concerned.
I promise, though.
So, art as an example of, like, there are people that are looking to make it as like a graphic designer or whatever. So they're grinding art like round the clock, where it's like, you know, it takes a level of obsession. Like, if you want to make it in any capacity, any medium, you have to become obsessed.
Sure. 100%. So what would your advice to people that have that obsession but have a hard time finding motivation or continuing motivation? Because I feel like that's an aspect that I struggle with, but I'm sure tons of other people out there struggle with too, where it's like maintaining motivation. Because sometimes just life gets in the way or whatever happens to where it just prevents you from keeping that motivation or your focus on that one thing. So I think that's an aspect that a lot of people struggle with. Is that fucking... Because I think the motivation aspect is difficult for people to continue. Sometimes motivation will come to you out of nowhere. Like, everyone's motivation is different. So I can't speak for everybody, but I'm sure motivation is the biggest thing. It's not even about like wanting to do it or like, you know, being like, it's not about where you're starting from either. I just think it's more of like just continuing the motivation when, you know, everything seems to bat against your motivation, or there's aspects of your life that are forcing your motivation to be focused on that.
Well, okay, so like, I'll never say shirk your priorities, because like, there's going to be things in your life that naturally draw your attention. Like, dude, if it's a difference between, oh, he's still alive, what the fuck? Like, if it's a decision between like, like, I need to buy a battery for my car, versus like, but I really want this graphics tablet, buy the fucking battery for your car. Like, that's much more important. Or like, you know, it's like, like, you know, like, there are obvious like responsibilities, like those, like, yes, they will impede your time in a way that sucks, but you know, there's stuff as an adult that you just need to take care of. Oh, now we can
there
get
we
shocked.
go.
Hell
That's,
yeah.
that's why I came all the way back here, because we have this and this and this back in the sewer or the basement area, But there's all those fucking dogs. I'm like, dude, and I've got like, so that's why we're going back here. Please continue. But that's why we backpedaled, is so I can get all this shit.
My fault as well, because I said hell yeah when I meant hell yeah. Hell yeah. But when it comes to staying motivated, and this helps as me as a person, and people, you can learn this, is setting goals. So set a goal at the very end of your journey, like so far out. Like I really do believe in, like, you know, what's the saying? Shoot for the sun,
shoot for the moon. If you miss, you land among the stars. That's
yes, exactly. Because if you shoot for the highest heights and you don't quite make it, guess what? You're still at a caliber of whatever it may be. Like, let's say for me, I want to be the best fighting game player in the world.
Yeah.
If I'm focused on that goal and I don't quite make it, I'm still a very high caliber player, and I can still do a lot with that. So now you set this goal that's at the end of the line. And that could be anything for you. Like, let's say for you, it's like, I want to, like, just throw something out there. It can literally be anything.
Okay.
Massive
better golfer or something.
Higher. I need something higher.
Like like, what do you, like?
End of your career golfing goal.
Oh, okay. So let's say, like, I'll just say for, like, music, let's say, like, a successful music career. I wouldn't necessarily say that's like exactly what I want, but we'll just use that as an example.
I would even be asking higher than that, like very lofty, but that's totally fine. That's serviceable. So now you need to set into intermediary goals
in between it,
in the pursuit of that.
Yeah.
Because if you just set one big lofty goal, you're gonna get lost in the sauce of, like, you don't feel the baby steps along the way. Like, you just see the end of your road, and you don't see anything, like any in-between markers. So it's hard to mark your progress.
I don't, like, that's a poor example. If we want to make it more personalized for me, just for the sake of it, I would say, like, my goals for music aren't necessarily to be, like, rich and famous or something like that. I feel like I get enough out of my music goals as is that, like, I'm content. Like, I make music because it's something I enjoy to do. Do I want to get better at it? 100%.
Alright, what's up everyone? Editor Brad here, and I don't usually do this kind of thing in our videos, and will likely never do anything like this again, but with Cody's question, I kind of sort of dropped the ball and talked about things that were unrelated to motivation really at all. So I asked Cody if he was cool with me doing a sort of retake on the matter, and he was fine with it. Getting right into things, motivation. Motivation just simply means the reason or reasons one has for acting or behaving in a particular way. But oftentimes, motivation is directly tied with desire. Motivation in itself is super tricky because it is the most fleeting and unreliable resource you could ever try to bank anything off of. Waiting to be motivated to do something is ill-advised. When motivation hits you and you actually can act on it, it's pretty sick. But for the stars to actually align for something like that, it's extremely rare and unlikely. The best thing you can do is to form some kind of habit, ritual, or routine out of whatever your desired goal is. I would really recommend committing to hard dates or times in the day to make good on whatever it is you may be working on, and I do mean physically mark it. Because for whatever reason, when we have something tangible, we are more likely to stick to whatever task it may be versus just saying, yeah, no, for sure, I'm going to start going to the gym on the 1st. Yeah, 100%. The biggest thing I actually did mention is setting yourself a goal. I'm a very big goal-oriented person. I love setting goals for myself. It's just kind of how I work, and it works for me. Do yourself a favor and set a goal no matter how big or small. And try your best to make it specific. Esoteric goals are fine if your desire for whatever it is you're trying to do is kind of a side thought or isn't really that important. But the more you want whatever thing it may be, the more I would prefer if you lock in something a little bit more specific. Like saying, yeah, I want to play more Overwatch versus I want to get diamond rank in Street Fighter. The pure desire to just play more Overwatch in general is perfectly fine, but that's obviously setting the bar pretty low. I would say oftentimes people do things of this nature if they are afraid of failure or really don't like the idea of running into failure. And let me just say, it is perfectly okay to not hit your goals. If you do end up really dreaming big for your goals, I absolutely love that. I'm a big fan of that mentality because, as the old saying goes, shoot for the moon, and even if you don't quite make it, you'll land amongst the stars. Now that we've established a goal, and this is more prominent for if your goal is a bit bigger, is to set yourself smaller intermediary goals along your way so you don't get lost in the sauce in that pursuit. Doing this is a reminder that you are in fact making progress when you hit these essential mini goals. And this is super important because if you have just one big goal, you can easily get discouraged and wonder why you're doing all of this, especially if you run into roadblocks or failure along your way. Once again, with these small goals, they feel good to accomplish, and that dopamine will motivate you to get to the next one. I'm going to put this out there too, with certain things that you may be working on or maybe you might run into along your path, you're going to have diminishing returns the further you get. When you start everything, you're going to have major newbie gains because you go from knowing absolutely nothing about whatever given thing you're working on, that any kind of new information will lead to massive level ups. Even the smallest of revelations will feel massive when you're just starting out. Additionally, understanding how you learn is huge too. I think I'm a particularly slow learner. It takes me really hammering away at something to get the hang of any new thing I happen to pick up. Very recently, I picked up and started learning a fighting game with a bit of time on it, Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and this is a game with some history, and the people that are oftentimes playing Marvel vs. Capcom 3 never stopped playing. The best way for me to learn is just to start, jump in, and figure things out. For myself, I went in knowing I was absolutely going to get beat up in the pursuit of learning something new, but you'll learn and you'll get stronger. Somewhat recently, I accrued my first 100 hours in the game. I was very happy about that. I also got my first 100 wins as well. And along that path, I ran into people with multiple thousands of games and even eventually someone with 20,000 games. And guess what? I won. Motivation by itself just simply isn't enough. It's far too fleeting of a resource. I think it's oftentimes that motivation comes from progress and seeing your own growth. But I'm also somewhat harsh on the matter of motivation because if there's something you want to do and you're not motivated to do it, I would say you really don't want to do it all that bad. If it comes down to something you really desire, something you really want to know or learn or work on, you will find the motivation to do whatever thing it is that you want to take part in. I'm absolutely stealing this line from My Hero Academia. Along the path of growth, you can't expect a level 1 and a level 50 to grow at the same pace. It's only natural that it's going to take the level 50 more XP to get any kind of gains and level up. I hope you guys found this interesting or insightful in some capacity. Like I said, I'll probably never do this again, but I do hope you enjoy the rest of the video, and be sure not to just support myself, but Cody as well at CodeMeisterP or CodeMeister_P.